Hello. So, today we are gonna do our hats. I mean this hat. So what you're gonna need for this magical adventure is So what you're gonna need for this is your hat, some weather strip seal, and some foam, and some skizzers. So with the foam and the weather stripping, this weather stripping I found it at Walmart in the painting hardware section. There's like a whole row of duct tape and stuff. You'll find it right there. And then this foam and stuff, this is in case you need it. I sometimes use it, but you can find that at Hobby Lobby or like your local craft store. And you know, scissors, you just find them anywhere basically. So this is what your strip should look like after you cut it. It's just one side's the foam and then the other side has the paper on it. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your strand and you're going to put it all inside right here. And so basically it's going to be like a little band, and the gray part is supposed to face inside because the other side of this is sticky. Like it's not coming off my thumb. So you're just going to peel off the paper from the sticky stuff. And then you're just going to press it into the inside of your hat. And so usually you might need to have a partner do this with you because they kind of slide around, or like hold it between your knees or whatever. But basically you're just going to keep doing this all along your hat, and you want to make sure that it's not like super tight, like it's not super stretched, because then it'll start to pop off the sides and that's not good, and you don't want that while you're performing. So you're just going to keep pressing it in and make sure that it doesn't get caught on any other part of your hat. One thing I do want to mention is that there's a tag right here, and this is where like the black strings that go inside here are at. Make sure that you put it behind the tag, because otherwise like it won't stick at all back here. And I don't like to tie my hat at all right here because it makes me feel weird. So for me personally, I just put a little piece of it right here so the strings wouldn't bother me at all. Now if you like extra protection like I do, this is where your forehead goes, because you can tell by all my makeup right here. But I'm going to put a few more little strips just right underneath the flap right here, like I do right here, but just a little bit more so I have more protection in case like my hat starts to flip off too. Now personally, when I wear my hat, I usually like to have extra protection because my hat is not the same size as my head, or like my head's a different, like slightly different shape. So what I do is that I cut a little strip of foam, it's about 1 inch, and you don't want to make it super obvious that you have in your hat. Like last year was my first year doing it and it kept falling out. So my advice for that would just to be not exactly cut it to where it fits the whole, like from your hairline all the way to here, but just enough to like right here, because we do a lot of head lifts and stuff like that and lots of head whips. So for me personally, I just like feeling more secure, so I'm going to cut out just 1 inch or so of this. So I just cut out my foam. It's just this wide. I made sure it would fit like right here on my head, and it's not like super long, because last year mine was like all the way around here and it was really bad. So basically what I do is that I take my hat, and then when I put it on, I feel where exactly, usually in the front, I feel like right here or right here where it's loose, and I just kind of just stuff it along in there, and it really helps. Now you don't necessarily have to like glue this into your hat or anything. This is just loose, and I just keep it loose, but I just tuck it in here just for safekeepings. Again, you do want to just press the weather strip down just in case it gets loose. So now we're going to go on to how to tie your hat and how to wear it. I'm sorry, my hair looks really bad, but you know, messy bun all day. So going into the hat. So you always want to make sure that you have the front, which you can always tell just because of the tag is right here. So what you're going to do is that you're just going to place it on your head like this, and you're going to smush it down so like it doesn't pop up on you. And you want to make sure also when you're putting your foam in, make sure that like you test it out and it like feels okay, because you don't want to go to practice and be like, oh, it doesn't fit me anymore, and like be that one person, you know. So basically what you're going to do is that you're going to take your star and you're going to move it all the way, and make sure that your strap doesn't get twisted. You want to make sure that the white is on the outside and that the disgusting side is in the inside, because nobody wants to see that. So you're going to take it, and usually you have to have like a helper with this, and like you can trade off. It's very hard to do it one person. So you're going to take it all the way, and you're going to put it right next to your left ear. And with this, it's okay if you're in pain, because that means it's staying on. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to have your partner, you're going to make a peace sign, and you're going to hold it down on both sides so like the strings are in between. And then your partner will tie it super duper tight while you hold your hat with your other hand. And then once it's tied, you can feel it, move it around, see if it's loose or not, and then you can also insert your phone. Okay, so I had my mom tie it real quick, and mine's loose for right now, but you gotta make sure that it's super tight. Now the way your hat is positioned is that you take your two fingers and it should be tilted down on the right, and so you should have a little bit of room just for two fingers, so it's really sassy and everything. And then what I do is I either tuck in my straps real quick, and I'll show you how to do that, or I put my foam in. So I'm gonna put my foam in. So I kind of lift my hat a little bit and pull away from my head, and then I just tuck it in, just kind of, you know, smush it in like it really wants to be there, but it really hates you and it doesn't love you, but you still love it because it needs to be there so you don't have a miserable football game. You're going to take your strap, and you're basically kind of going to make a fruit roll-up out of it. You're just going to make it into a little flat disc by just rolling it really tight, like so. It takes a really long time, so it's a good thing to do on the bus. So once you have it in a decent sized little disc or rose looking thing, you're just going to take your hat like we did with the foam, and you're just going to stick it all the way up in your hat. And you're going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side. So that's basically all you need to know about hats, and now let's get on to part 2. Hi. So now we're going to move on to belts, because belts are very important in football, and you need to make sure that you know how to tuck the strings in correctly and how to tie it properly so you can do it on your own and be, you know, in and out of the cafeteria when you're changing, you know? Alrighty, so you're going to take your belt, and one thing to notice is that this diamond right here is supposed to go smack dab in the center of yourself, and it's supposed to be right over your belly button, just so you know it stays there. And it doesn't matter if it's like upside down or anything, because it looks all the way the same. So you're going to take your belt, and when you put it on yourself, you're going to spin it around to where the corset whole place is in the front. Now you're going to take your belt string, and you're going to loop this end straight through, like so. And you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. like that. So your string should go over like this. Then you're going to take your string and you're going to go through the same hole underneath. So now it's like you can't see it here, but underneath, that's what it looks like right there. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to take both strings and you're going to cross them, and you're going to go over again, through, kind of like you would for a shoe. Same thing on the other side. And you're going to cinch it real tight and tie it in a double knot, like that. So you're going to spin your belt all the way around, and I'm going to go face the back after I spin this around because I can't see. So this is what your belt looks like from behind. You're going to take your little strings like this, and you're going to tuck them into your belt. Now always make sure that you're being self-aware with your belt, because like your string could fall out or anything, or even also help out your neighbor too, because like if you're behind them in formation, just say, hey, your belt string's out, I'm gonna help you, or anything like that. Same thing with hats too. So this is what your belts should look like, and they shouldn't be super tight to where you can't breathe, but they shouldn't be tight to where like if you move around, like they're gonna come off, because that's just not pretty, and we don't want belts flying off either. Now for a brief moment, I'm just going to recap everything and give you also a few more pointers. So number one, always make sure that your hat is nice and tight, but not to where you feel like you're going to die, you know? But still tight enough to where it's not going to fly off. And if you ever need help, always ask someone that's returning or someone you know that's super strong with tying hats or whatever. And then going on to belts, make sure that your belt string is always tucked in and that it's not super tight to where you can't breathe, but not loose enough to where it falls off. Next, I'm going to say one quick thing about having boots. With your boots, they do stretch out over time, so you're going to want to build up a huge like collection of fuzzy socks or crew socks, not ankle socks necessarily, and you're just going to have those inside your boots. And lastly, overall, make sure that all your uniform is pinned down to every Velcro piece and everything like that, because it will fly off if you're being super sharp, you know? And overall, that's basically what this video is about, just getting you prepared for football season. I hope that this really helped you guys. If you have any questions, please ask someone and don't hesitate. If you need the officers or returning members to help you, please ask questions, and we do not bite. So please do it. I hope this really helped, and, have a good day.